slap a keyboard out of the coach's hand, they ought to give you 2 to 5 games for that. Are you kidding me? That is one of the most disrespectful acts I've ever witnessed by a professional athlete.
They're calling it the silent suspension. Late night hoops. Twitter has been buzzing with claims that the Chicago Sky front office met behind closed doors after that explosive clipboard smack and, at least according to a leaked email making the rounds, voted to sideline Angel Reese indefinitely for conduct detrimental to team culture. No beat writer has confirmed the document, and the franchise flat out refuses to comment. But the rumor lines up a little too neatly with her unexplained no-show at Wednesday's media availability. Add in the fact that YouTube channels are pumping Reese's done thumbnails at record pace, and you've got what insiders call an educated speculation. If a suspension really lands, it could be the Sky's last-ditch play to salvage a locker room on the brink.
They'd probably fine her and suspend her. Knowing the way they treat her, they would probably fine her and suspend her. 5 of 9, 55%, 12 of 15 from free throws, 22 points, 15 boards, and of them 15 boards, 13 were actually defensive.
Remember, this is the same club that once benched a former All-Star for clashing with coaches. So while nothing's official, it might explain why veteran voices are suddenly talking about resetting standards behind the scenes. Could the clipboard fiasco be the final straw? We're diving deep, and by the end, you'll decide whether this is panic gossip or a punishment that's already in motion. 22 points, 15 boards, 4 dimes. Numbers good enough to headline any highlight reel. But 2 seconds of fury stole the spotlight when Angel Reese, fresh off a timeout huddle, swatted an assistant coach's clipboard so hard it ricocheted past the camera boom. Social feeds detonated. Some fans cheered the passion. Others called it the rudest thing they'd ever seen from a pro athlete. Within 3 hours, the clip had cleared 5 million views, and Suspend Reese was trending ahead of the game's final score, a 79-81 heart stab that dropped Chicago to 6-13. But that stat line tells us something bigger. Reese isn't dogging it on the floor. She's torching nets while the team keeps tripping in the clutch. And frustration like that never shows up overnight. So where's all that heat coming from? Let's trace the fuse. Since mid-June, Angel has stacked 7 straight double-doubles, tied for the longest streak in the league this season. Yet Chicago has won only 2 of those games. Analysts keep asking, do Herculean numbers even matter if the W column never budges? A quick glance at the standings says maybe not. The Sky sit 4 games out of the 8th seed, and their net rating ranks bottom 3. Meanwhile, Reese leads all players in technical fouls with 13. Each monster box score becomes background noise because the drama hogs every microphone. And the loudest boom before clipboard gate? Cue the microphone drop heard round the league. Less than 24 hours before the slap seen round the world, Reese marched into a post-game presser, and with cameras rolling, torched the officiating as diabolical and cheap. She didn't just skirt the line, she bulldozed it, saying she didn't give a DMN about the inevitable fine. League execs were still reviewing that tirade when the clipboard launch hit their inbox. Multiple outlets now say fines are imminent and a short suspension is on the table. SI critics claim she's writing checks with her mouth the Sky can't cash. Supporters argue she's spotlighting lopsided whistles that bury smaller market teams. Either way, tension was already simmering, and the next incident would blow the lid clean off. Except this next one didn't happen in a tunnel or presser. It happened smack in the middle of opening night. Opening night delivered the matchup every fan circled. Caitlin Clark's Fever debut versus Angel Reese's pro arrival. Mid-third quarter, Clark's shoulder caught Reese on a rebound, and tempers flared. Shoves, words, and a double technical. The clip went viral, launching a summer-long debate, fiery rivalry, or outright vendetta. Even Robert Griffin III chimed in, claiming sources told him Reese harbored personal grudges. Bernice King, yes, Dr. King's daughter, clapped back, telling RG3 to talk to Reese privately instead of fueling tabloid flames. From that night forward, every Reese gesture, an eye roll, a head shake, became screenshot bait. And if you think the microscope faded, consider how quickly the next Sky flashpoint spiraled. Because backstage in Chicago, the spotlight isn't just on players, it's on the rookie coach fumbling to steer the ship. Tyler Marsh inherited a roster built to win now. Remember, Chicago traded a lottery pick for Olympian Ariel Atkins in February, then lost veteran guard Courtney Vandersloot to an ACL tear 2 months later. Pressure? Off the charts. Insiders say Marsh's player-friendly vibe morphed into babysitting once Reese's star power eclipsed the rest of the locker room. Anonymous quotes describe practices where feedback for the forward gets filtered or softened. And when that clipboard hit the hardwood, cameras caught Marsh staring in stunned silence. No immediate benching, no confrontation. Columnists called it the moment the inmates ran the asylum. Players insist the vibe is still family, but sources hint at side-eye chatter. Vets feel unheard, rookies feel invisible, and every huddle tiptoes around the all-stars' emotions. That leads to the question every front office considers when chaos outruns chemistry. The WNBA's CBA allows escalating fines, game suspensions, or even a conduct review panel if behavior keeps harming the brand. Seattle once suspended a star forward 5 games for punching a teammate. LA shipped out an all-star midseason after repeated clashes with staff. History says punishment has teeth. Rumor mill insiders whisper 2 possible scenarios. 1, short leash suspension, a 2 to 3 game team ban paired with mandatory anger management workshops. The Sky could announce it internally, sell accountability, and hope the drama fades by August. 2, blockbuster reset. If Reese's camp balks, Chicago tests trade waters. Front offices in Phoenix and Atlanta reportedly kicked tires on big-name forwards last winter. Both have cap space and could dangle first-rounders if they smell a distressed asset. No exec will speak on record, yet agents confirm calls have picked up. That alone shows how real the scenario is. But for every pundit screaming, "Ship her out," there's a legion of fans chanting a different anthem. At 23, Angel Reese is still barely scratching her prime. She's top 5 in rebounds, 8th in PR, and her jersey outsells half the league combined. Sponsors love the eyeballs. Even controversy draws clicks. If she leans into leadership, clamps down on outbursts, and turns those double-doubles into clutch wins, Chicago's playoff hopes aren't dead yet. Picture it. Reese reemerges after a brief suspension, drops a 2020 night, locks arms with Marsh during post-game interviews, and the comeback montage writes itself. Brands retweet, pundits pivot, and little girls rock number 5 jerseys with pride. Flip side? If the suspension rumor proves true and the relationship shatters, we may watch a generational talent become the cautionary tale of too hot to handle. Locker room fractures become fire sales, and a once upstart franchise fades while Reese tries to revive her image in another city. So where do you land? Is the hush-hush suspension leak just smoky gossip, or a signal that Chicago is this close to dropping the hammer? Can Angel turn raw fire into refined fuel? Or will the next headline read, "Reese traded after turbulent season"? Drop your take below, smash subscribe for our follow-up once the league rules. And remember, in the W, every clipboard tells a story. This one might rewrite an entire career.